Hey everyone, how's it going? Derek Stevenson here, back with Hot Rods and Houses. We are doing another project on gunmetal. And sorry for my voice, just lost it the other day. But we are going to be adding some cooling mods to gunmetal, making it a little bit more efficient, helping that little 1.7 liter Eaton blower, cool down, even though no matter what you do, you're always going to have heat soak. But try to mitigate as much as we can. So what I've done is I've reached out to LMP and I got their heat exchanger and front mount ice tank upgrade. So getting a little bit more cooling capacity inside the system, so that way we don't heat soak as quickly. And I don't really road race the car, don't drag the car, nothing like that. Just like to have fun on the street, that kind of stuff. So plan is to get this bigger heat exchanger in there and this front ice tank and go ahead and install it on the cars. Heck yeah. Alright, so to go ahead and get started on this project, first thing we need to do is get this front bumper off, or at least the front bumper clip, get this thing out the way. A few other things we're going to have to modify on the coolant side, so we're going to have to get this intake out the way, this rotofab intake out of the way. A few other miscellaneous items inside here, and I'll show you that as we go. And yeah, let's get after it. Alright, what you want to do as far as getting this bumper off here, where I'm going to start at least, is I'm going to start right here inside the fender. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4 bolts right here. They are Torx heads. It is a T15, just so you know. Go ahead and remove these 4. That way you can gain access back behind here. And then along the bottom down here, underneath the fabric of the fender itself, there's going to be about 4 7mm bolts that are in here that you're going to have to remove also, so you can gain access back behind this fender a little bit easier. Once you got all the bolts loose, pull the bumper off.
I got the skills, they making dollars. Blow minds full time like a Rhodes Scholar. Suit up, armor like a Mo Rider. Glowed up, I drop jaws, make it say
Alright guys, we're going to be moving on to the next step now that we've got the front end disassembled, or at least the front bumper cover taken off. What we're going to do next is we're going to have to disassemble this front area right here. It's the crash bar, the braces, these are going to have to come off, because again, we are not only putting in this LMP heat exchanger, we're also going to be putting in their ice tank, which is going to sit literally right here. So, alright, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take off these cross braces right here. It is a 10mm.
I'm gonna show you how a queen become a legend. I'm gonna show you how to live a life to 10. I'm gonna show you how can we become a legend. I'm gonna show you how we gonna wear that crown.
Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take off this crash bar so I can gain access to the heat exchanger, which is right here. Alright, while you're about ready to take this brace off, there is a wire that goes across here that you want to make sure that you obviously don't damage. So take a pry tool and just pull up on the little tabs that are on this bar, and that way you can remove this.
To be traveled with my attitude so jacked that I load a rapper with it. I can't be stopped, I'm a juggernaut anarchist.
And by the way, this is a 13. Sorry I didn't tell you for these 8 bolts. And of course there's definitely more crap that's attached to this, so look around the top, look around the bottom, make sure you have everything loose. Alright guys, want to give you a little bit of an update. So taking out this crash bar is not just removing the 4 bolts and removing this little wire that's going across right here. Just want to kind of show you in depth of what I'm doing so that I can access the bolts on this heat exchanger. If you're just doing the ice tank, you probably don't have to do this, but if you're doing the heat exchanger, try to get to these bolts without stripping them, damaging something, You know, I'm sure there's a way, and I'm sure LMP has a way that they can do this, because they've got this down to a science without having to do probably as much as I'm doing. But I'm just going to do this just for, you know, safety precautions for myself of breaking something. So I'm going to show you what I'm doing to access these bolts. So there is a couple of these tabs right here that you have to remove. Just get yourself a pry tool, all right? Pull it off right here. This is going to come off here. Get this out of your way. All right, moving down over here to access up behind here, because there's a bolt right inside here that's holding this on, these 4 bolts. I mean, this thing is, the bolts are not on, so this bolt is in the way. And this tunnel right here, this air tunnel that goes towards the brakes for, you know, cooling the brakes off, this is in your way to get this bolt out. So got to take off a whole bunch of these, all right, with your pry tool. All right, get a whole bunch of these removed throughout this piece and this piece. This will come off as one single unit. You set it off to the side. All right, air duct will come off. All right, set this off to the side. Now you can gain access to this bolt, this side, and then now you should have all the room to work over here on your heat exchanger on this side. And then we're going to go to the other side and do the exact same thing. Go over there on that side and do the exact same thing. So remember, there's these 4 bolts right in here, bolt right upside here, crap load of these tabs that you got to pull off. All right, and then to where you can pull this crash bar off to get access, because there's bolts. Let me show you. There are bolts right back behind here. Okay, and in order to access these bolts, there's one right back behind this crash bar. I mean, like right there. So I cannot get there without breaking something. Again, LMP might know the secret to this. I'm just not going to take the chance, so I'm going to go ahead and take this crash bar all the way off and take these ducting and these pieces of plastic off just to gain access to it. So I'm going to get this side cleaned up. I'm going to get the other side taken off. It's no different. It's just take the tabs off, pull them off, set them to the side, take the 4 bolts out, and then you have access, and then we can start working on the heat exchanger. So stay tuned. All right, this might be a little hard to see. I'm going to mock up where this crash bar was. Okay, crash bar was just like this. Okay, there's one tab on this rubber shroud right here that you just pull up with your pry tool. And then what I ended up doing is I took off the other side, so the passenger side as you're looking at the car, and I kind of let it droop a little bit like this, which in turn, when I did that, I didn't have to take all this apart. This actually kind of bent a little bit like this to where I could get a ratchet wrench in here. And I just put the ratchet wrench in there and I just loosened it up underneath here because it's got some give. So I was able to get that in there and kind of loosen this up to remove the crash bar completely. So you don't have to take this completely apart, just so you know. I still have the air duct here, still have this air duct or this diverter for, you know, back in here. So this is all still intact to be able to access this 10mm bolt. I'm just going to let it sit there. I'm just going to let it sit right there until I'm ready to put it back together, and then I'll put it back in there, screw it back in, and that's it. Next is we're going to clamp off. So as you see right here, we have one hose right over here. We have the other hose right here, and we're going to crimp off right here on both sides. I got a pair of hose crimpers that I can, you know, cut off the coolant hose right here and right here, and then take the bolts out, pull this one out, replace it with the bigger one, put the hoses back on, and that's really it. So stay tuned, we're gonna get after it. Okay, so here we go. We've got the original heat exchanger out. You can see how thin that is, right? Then here's the LMP. Look how thick that is in comparison. It's crazy. So now it's just pretty much all it is a 1-for-1 swap, guys. Nothing serious, nothing too crazy. All you got to do is just put it in its place right up here in front of the AC condenser. Mounts in the same exact locations. Just pull that plastic back, put in your mounting screws, hook up your hoses, and once you're done, which again, we have another project on top of this, which is the ice tank that's going to go right above here. But if you were just doing the heat exchanger, you would just put your hoses back on, right? Dress everything back up. Make sure your coolant up there is topped off, which I've got a secondary reservoir up there, so that's how I bleed my system. But pretty much, it's just reverse order from this point. Just taking your hose, connecting to your top hose, taking your bottom hose right here, connecting to your bottom hose down there, mounting screws on your mounting locations. And we're going to go ahead and do that now.
1 hour later.
All right, and just like that, the upgraded heat exchanger from LMP is installed. So I've got the hoses on, low side, high side, and again, it's just reverse order. Putting on your cross brace, all of your duct work. All right, putting the bumper back on, and then going up here and double checking your fluids, making sure that you're all good to go, and then burp your system. If you don't have some way of bleeding it like I do, you're gonna have to bleed your system up there on the supercharger like normal. Hope this helps, guys. Stay tuned. I'm going to continue working on the ice tank next. Okay, guys, so here's what we have here in the kit. So obviously we have the tank itself.